Okay, St. Patrick's Day's just gone, hasn't it? And every time, uh, you keep thinking of the song Danny Boy, don't you? And it makes you cry. Um, my granddad used to wear a tam o' shanter, being a reed, and his was spelt the Scottish way. That means it's Gaelic for red. Uh, and what is interesting is there's a crossover with Gaelic and Irish, and not just putting whiskey in coffee. It's about, which is Gaelic coffee. It's more to do with certain words like beag, which means small in both languages, I think, and it's the masculine version and the feminine versions are separated in Gaelic, in Irish and Scottish Gaelic. The H is put after the B to emasculate the word small if you're referring to a boy, and it's just BEAG for a girl. I think I've got it the right way round. And so there's a crossover with the lingo. But to me, I used to like Gaelic fairy tales, and they love their herrings and their broth, which is, the word broth is from the Scotch anyway, but they're unmistakably different, but there's just certain words that are Gaelic that are the same. But I'm thinking if I try to sing Loch Lomond, it's more like a masculine kind of song, whereas St. Patrick's Day, you hear Danny Boy and it's sentimental, and a lady can sing it as well as a guy. And also with my dad being from Nantwich, which is a Welsh salt town, his granddad James Jack Davis was the main man with the sign writing and the guy that set up the painter's shop. But before that they were Welsh, and I think the genes had come through in my dad because he had such a great voice. He was not many people are tenors, they're mainly guys. I mean, mainly they're baritones, but he was a true tenor, and it was quite a soft voice like Alec Jones. But he had quite a good range as well. He could get down deep or high, and he if you sing Land of My Fathers or Men of Harlech, you actually wouldn't sound right if you're a female, because it's kind of a Welsh male voice choir song, and it's similar with Loch Lomond. It's kind of a male folk song, and there's certain songs like Scarborough Fair and Danny Boy that you can suit both men and women to sing. So there you go. My granddad wore a tam o' shanter, and we used to love, also on my grandma's side, going back, the further they went back sort of from northwesterly, sort of Old Trafford. Then on the dad's side they were moving eastwards all the time as you go further back, and so that they weren't Scottish, or I don't know if they had any Irish. I don't know, they were kind of on the Lancashire side. They were all quite reddish, but I just think of my granddad's side as being the Gaelic side, and he used to be, they were all journeymen, and he set up Finnegan's. He, as the manager, Finnegan's owned it in Wimslow back in the day, and it's famous, isn't it, really, in the northwest, and that's a really big claim to fame. But they were just the family of, on the male line, my granddad, they were a family of tanners, and leather bag. But that's all they did. They apprenticed each son to make leatherware. Even if it's just leather bags or purses, they were all tanners, and they did journey. If I look back at on my granddad's side, the family tree, they would go over on boats to sell their leatherwares to Ireland, and there was a big friendship there. And on my dad's side, of course, they were he was the main man for taking on apprentices just for painting and sign writing, and he did a bit of he was a good plumber as well, so he was like a jack of all trades on my dad's Welsh side. So that was really the only link that when I look back in the 17th century, the Reeds, they just used to sail over to Ireland, sail west. But I think the love of music hall also came from, like, they just further back further back in my grand's family tree, they were just going eastwards all the time. So they were eventually, sort of, by the time of the late 18th century, on her dad's side, you'd come across Derbyshire, near Buxton, that kind of area, the Peak District, quite near there, but more like the Dales, and that's why they used to love singing all the time. My gran, I suppose my granddad would as well, if he was always wearing a tam o' shanter. He'd like the traditional folk songs, and they used to love singing Danny Boy and stuff like that. But they did also like anything Celtic, like Men of Harlech. My aunts used to sing, and my eldest aunt, who was in the army, was told that she'd make a really good singer like Belinda Carlisle, because she had quite a deep voice for someone small. But she was very down to earth, and being ex-army, she was more like an earthy kind of person. But my dad used to love the romanticism of singing and the melodies of the hymns. So there you go. I think if I tried to sing Danny Boy, even though my auntie used to sing it, it just sometimes I'll have to. It gets sentimental because I'm thinking like, oh, it makes me cry, and I'm thinking, both my partners died. One partner was second generation Irish. He was born in England with two Irish parents, and then he died. Then another partner died, who was a cobby, so Vinny was obviously Welsh, and it was an entirely different way in which he died. And I'm thinking I wouldn't sort of missed out meeting them, and in Andy's case, that his family, for anything, even though he's only got one family member, I'm still great friends. But you think, what if I didn't meet them and met someone else, and what might have been? And time flies, and especially for a female, you get older, and you can't, well, I don't really feel particularly old yet, but it does go on, and you think, oh, I'm losing that experience of what might have been with somebody different, maybe, and they might not have died, and it might have worked. And I come from, all my family was big and extended, like a clan, and we all stuck together it wasn't just because of the sort of Celtic side, it was to do with other parts of us as well. We just liked the family, and if you look back on all parts of their lineage, different sides to them as well, like the European side, they're all into sticking with big families, and that could have happened with me, and I'm thinking it didn't. And someone or people that I've liked in the past, they might have lived longer. It might have been good, but all this is fading like a flower. So that's why when I hear Danny Boy or try and sing it, I get sentimental. Okay. Oh, Danny Boy, the pipes are calling from green to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses falling. It's you must go and I must bide. But call me back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny Boy, oh, Danny Boy, I love you so. But when he come and all the flowers are dying, if I am dead, as dead I well may be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say, and I lay there for me, and I shall hear no soft you tread above me, and all my grave will warmer, sweeter be, for you will bend and tell me that you love me, and I shall sleep in peace until you come to me. Oh, it's sweet, isn't it?